Ladies and gents, I'm UX and this is Lord Commander Dante, Warhammer 40,000 by the Channel Temple Institute. Across the whole of the Adeptus Astartes, few have set foot on many worlds of the Imperium of man, saved so many events and brought ruin to so many enemies as Lord Commander Dante. Okay, so I guess we have one of the most accomplished veteran or something. Commander of what though? Alright, we'll see it. Yeah, the Temple Institute is a great channel who explains Warhammer 40k in brief. There are channels like Lutin and I guess some other channels who goes into deep. So yeah, I still haven't finished Imperium of Man 2 from Lutin. I guess I'll continue that later. And there's this thing as, Hell's Reach, text-to-speech device. But yeah, I want to do a small lore, so let's do this one.
Of the countless trillions of souls that make up the Imperium of Man, most will never see a space marine of the Adeptus Astartes in their lifetime. And they might count themselves lucky to be spared the type of carnage that would compel those superhuman warriors to battle. Yet, the presence of the Astartes can still be felt in a multitude of ways, and foremost in the legends that surround them. To the Imperium, they are angels of death, far removed from the trivial concerns of mortal men. They are nothing less than demigods, reflections of the Emperor himself. Yet for all the myths and worship that surrounds them, the Astartes at their core remain human. While many among their number have come to deny this, they are no less vulnerable to the dangers of the universe. A lucky shot may pierce their powered armor. A festering wound might overcome their enhanced biology. Their strength can be bested, and their souls can be corrupted. At times throughout the centuries, however, opportunities present themselves in which the finest warriors of the Adeptus Astartes might not only rise to their mythic reputation, but exceed it. Marneus Calgar, Logan Grimnar, Vulcan Hestan, no mere tale or sermon can fully account for the feats of these champions. Still, even atop the highest pantheon of imperial saints and heroes, there is a single soul who stands apart.
Okay.
For not since the time of heroes and the cataclysm of the Horus heresy has a single man given so much of himself to the Imperium, and had the hopes and fate of so many rest on his actions alone. He is the chapter master of the Blood Angels, Lord of the Host, Regent and Warden of the Imperium Nihilus, Hero of the Red Scar, Uniter of the Sanguinary Brotherhood, the living embodiment of the 5 angelic graces, and 10,000 other titles and honorifics. He is Lord Commander Dante. Over a millennia ago, a boy was born on the second moon of Baal within its great salt wastes. Like many, he suffered a cruel childhood, abandoning his father after the death.
Alright, so basically after Horus Heresy, when there was all the fucking chapters got split into smaller ones, 1,000 per 1,000 Astartes, right? So when that happened, I guess no one man kind of rose up to fame that much, right? So I guess Dante's exception, right? Because if you have 7, 8 chapters with many space marines, right? You could have one badass Primarch and things like that, age of where Imperium of Man was kind of at its height, but after Horus Heresy, everything kind of got stale. And obviously, they basically broke apart all the chapters into 1,000, Space Marine chapters. In that, everybody does their job. Some of them are good, some of them are, really good here and there. But I guess nobody really stand out, right? Age of Heroes, like he says. But Dante's exception, right? Chapter leader of Blood Angels, apparently. So yeah, I just did one of the chapter videos yesterday, right? Yesterday? No, a few days ago. And that was epic how they stand out, right? I haven't started to react to a chapter lore yet. That was the first one. There's also Blood Angels one from this channel. So it's going to be interesting to see how different chapters are graded their own thing. People told me in the comment that, all chapters have their own unique thing that makes them really good at what they do. And Dante being really famous and really accomplished, the chapter leader of Blood Angels. That would be an interesting video.
death of his mother. He resolved to become an angel or die in the attempt. None among the tribes that dwelt in the Salt Wastes had ever survived the trek to the distant fortress monastery of the Blood Angels, and there was little sign this boy's journey would end any differently. Stunted by malnutrition and weakened even by the standards of Baal, it was inevitable that, like so many others, he collapsed from thirst far from his destination. The entity that revealed itself to him that day is shrouded in the ancient lore of the Blood Angels, thought perhaps to be an aspect of the fallen Sanguinius himself. But whatever it was, it gifted the precious water necessary for the boy to complete his journey.
Okay.
In the trials that followed, the boy displayed no particular promise, save his indomitable and moral fortitude. His refusal to kill a fellow aspirant was in truth his final test, and he was sealed inside a sarcophagus to undergo the implantation of his chapter's gene seed. Many die within this process, such is the way of the Blood Angels, but where most endure or suffer quietly, the boy screamed endlessly, drifting between consciousness and slumber, yet never falling fully into either. A scarred and malformed boy named Louis entered that chamber, but it was the angelic form of Dante that left it. No aspirant had ever endured such pain within the transformation process, and it seemed to the sanguinary priesthood to be an omen, but for what, they could not be certain. Dante rose through the ranks, but had it not been for an era of suffering and loss inflicted on the Blood Angels, he might never have ascended to the rank of Lord Commander. Yet a number of devastating campaigns had left their brotherhood shattered, and of the 200 Astartes that survived this era, Dante was the last living captain, and the only choice for chapter master.
Okay.
Some might have expected his inauspicious start to herald a bleak reign as chapter master and usher the final dissolution on the Blood Angels, but Dante's fate was far different. He oversaw the restoration of the chapter and led them across their most glorious and triumphant millennium.
Okay, I get it. His process was painful, but okay. I mean, everybody knows that this process is painful. His Dante's process was even more painful. So everybody just saw that as an omen. I get it. This is grim, dark world, but come on, have some optimism here. Maybe this boy, went through way too much gruesome process than anybody else and survived. Maybe that's good basically, thing all around. Like that's gonna, keep the chapter, bring chapter to a whole another level or something, rather than, oh, this is gonna be end of this.
Since the great counter-offensive that followed the Horus Heresy. In every manner of battle, across every kind of campaign, Dante emerged from simply one champion of the Imperium among many to perhaps the single most accomplished Astartes in living memory. No one, it is said, has ever set foot on so many of the Imperium's worlds as he. Part of this is due to his astounding age, having served the Imperium for well over 1,500 standard years, with 1,100 of those as chapter master. He has led his chapter through ages of civil war, rampant Xenos expansionism, and the dark incursions of the ruinous powers. His vestige stands on uncounted worlds, his name spoken with unabashed awe. Yet the greatest of his campaigns was fought to save his own homeworlds of Baal. The advance of High Fleet Leviathan, the greatest such force of Tyranids yet seen, threatened to strip every molecule of biomatter and eradicate the Blood Angels from all existence. While Dante's fanatical defense of his chapter's fortress monastery equaled Sanguinius's own ancient defense of the Imperial Palace, the Lord Commander's most skillful triumph occurred before the battle had even started. A lesser man might not have been able to mobilize such allies to his side, but to Dante came almost all the successor chapters of the old Blood Angels Legion, assembling again a force unseen in 10,000 years. The arrival of the reborn
I guess somebody told me in the comments that, in basically chapter, that they're split apart. Oh, sorry. So yeah, the chapter that was split apart in the, I guess, Imperial Fist video, that, there is something in place that basically avoids the rule that was made that, we should split up the chapters into smaller one. If another threat rises, everybody can band together. And I'm like, that's interesting. Somebody told me in the comments that has happened in the past. So I guess Dante did the same thing here, right? With the Sanguinius' chapter. The Blood Angels is, the split apart chapter, and there are many like that. From the Sanguinius is, all Space Marine group, I guess. So he actually brought all them together and fought as one.
Primarch Rabute Gilliman sealed the fate of High Fleet Leviathan, who in victory bestowed an even greater responsibility to the Lord Commander. With the galaxy split asunder by a great rift, piercing through reality itself, the Imperium has been severed. 500,000 worlds and Baal itself have been cut off from the light of the Astronomicon, and the victory of the ruinous powers appears imminent. In this desperate era, Dante has been named Regent of the Imperium Nihilus and charged with the defense of this shadowy realm. There is little doubt across the Imperium that Dante is the perfect choice for such an appointment. He is an exemplar of the fearlessness, determination, and the genius at the heart of every Astartes. But above even that, reflected in him is the character of Sanguinius himself: mercy, empathy, and grace. Even among the angelic blood angels, he manifests the spirit of their fallen Primarch like no other. But so long has he lived, and so great his accomplishments, that now even Dante has been lost in his own legend. Did he truly banish a keeper of secrets within the pleasure gardens of fabled Luxurasa? Did he really face down an entire Black Legion alone? Were the pilgrims aboard the toils of the faithful rescued by his hand? How many did he truly save during the siege of Maculus? How many heretics has he laid low? Only Dante and the Emperor can say for certain, and the Lord Commander is no more likely to speak of such things than the master of mankind. In battle, Dante hides his face behind the death mask of Sanguinius, a shrieking visage of agony to strike terror into the enemies of mankind. This masked figure does not bleed, does not suffer, and is strong enough to shoulder any burden. In the time of ending, the Imperium needs symbols, not men of flesh and blood. And yet, in the rare instances in which this mask is removed, the figure beneath is not the man who first emerged from that sarcophagus a millennia ago. His golden hair has turned long and white. His skin is lined by tracks of weariness and age. He is old now, and his weary eyes reflect lifetime after lifetime of carnage and sacrifice. Only one thing prevents him from succumbing to time. In life, the Primarch Sanguinius is said to have seen visions of the future. 99 scrolls are interred deep within the vaults of Marest, in the Librarium on Baal, and in them, Dante has glimpsed his destiny. Sanguinius foresaw a battle to overshadow all others, and that when all hope had faded, a golden warrior would stand between the Emperor of mankind and his destruction. Most interpret this to refer to Sanguinius' own stand against Horus, but Dante believes that golden figure to be himself, and a day is drawing closer when the defense of the Emperor will rest on him alone. This belief is perhaps shared, for the great enemy has its own prophecies. They warn the followers of the dark gods of the final flight of the dead angel's host, of the last archangel. They fear a death that soars. They shriek in terror of a golden mask that forever stares and never smiles.
That is epic.
Weeping tears of frozen gold.
Oh my god, this was one of the best video ever about Warhammer. I love the whole story. I can't wait to do Blood Angels chapter video now. So Dante is basically still holding on to everything because there's some prophecy style thing that, there's going to be a golden warrior who's going to save the Emperor. Chaos has same fear that there's going to be one figure like that that's going to be a problem. I love that Dante's like, that's me. I mean, it makes sense. Why not, right? I mean, everything we heard so far, Dante is fucking badass as they come, right? But the question, I like when Warhammer always puts things out to interpretation, right? Did Dante really did all those things, or all those things exaggerated? Only Dante and Emperor knows. And obviously none of them are going to say that this is not, right? It's psychological warfare. If people believe I did this many shit, why not let them believe it? Yeah. Man, I love this. Alright, people, that was Lord Commander Dante, Warhammer 40k by the Channel Templin Institute. I guess I'm going to do Blood Angels chapter tomorrow. But yeah, we'll see. Alright, I guess I'll see you next time.